Hey everybody, welcome to the Outlet Podcast. My name's Gazy, host of the Outlet Podcast. This is one of my favorite shirts. When it rains, it pours. One of my favorite shirts. I love this shirt. I love it. You guys check me out on iTunes, and quickly I'll be leaving Soundcloud as a host site. Why? Because I heard Soundcloud will be closing. But you can still listen to the Outlet Podcast on Google Play Music. If you got me on iTunes, which is a major podcasting hub, and there are other Stitcher Radio, Blubrry, and more. I want to talk about being a sponge, and it's dangerous. Being a sponge is dangerous. Why? Well, what do I mean by being a sponge? Let's start off there. I was thinking about myself for a while, and I recognized a number of different traits that I have. I noticed that I like to empathize with people. I like to sympathize with people. I like to find harmony and a mutual foundation agreement in between myself and others. And hopefully that can be something marketable for future companies. Hire me. But anyways, this is something that I do. I really like to find common ground with people, because there are some platitudes, or maybe not platitudes, but there are regularities for all of us. If you come to think about it, we're all people. We all live on this earth. We have political opinions. We have different faiths that we believe in. And there's so much common ground that is actually very fertile for human beings to actually relate. There's more things that unite us than actually divide us. So since I'm a uniter, not a divider, I think that was Bush, I noticed that it can also be detrimental. I like to be with people. I like to take on people's burdens. I like to take on people's cares. I like to sympathize and empathize with people. However, what happens when you empathize with people who are hard-headed, who are actually very difficult to get along with? Empathizing with people who can, let's just say it flat out, they're apathetic and they don't want to find common ground with you. What happens then? Well, see, that's where it kind of beats me up as a human being. See, I want to be with people so badly, I just take on their negativity, their condescending stuff. I just take that on for the sake of being with people. It's kind of like a whipping child that prefers to be whipped in order to save the other, so that the other child who should be whipped isn't whipped. So I guess I like to be whipped. I don't know. You can consider, maybe I'm masochistic. I really don't want to consider myself to be as such. However, I don't like when other people are in pain, in situations of difficulty. If I have the ability to fix that and remedy that, then that's something that I really, really, really prefer to do. So since my problem, it's very clear that I'm a sponge, I've learned a couple things. Number one, be careful what you absorb. And you have to take on only certain things within yourself, or else you're definitely gonna, guess what, dry yourself out. You can't take on everything. Some substances in life are just straight detrimental, and I don't know, imagine a sponge just soaking up battery acid or vinegar. It's not good to absorb and retain this kind of stuff, and that's the second point. Be careful what you retain. So let's say you did take on some things. Well, if you don't work them out, if you don't work out certain problems, certain things, if you don't work it out, you don't squeeze every once in a while, well, guess what? Your longevity as an individual, mental health, I guess, it's gonna go real fast. And I should stop right here before I continue and not just make this about people, because there are ideas, there are things that you can take on and that are straight horrible, straight bad, negative, all these kinds of things. If you dive into the realm of politics, yeah, I'm going there. We're talking about ideologies that change not only in time and not only in society, but for everybody individually. You can, for the first 20, for the first 20 years of your political life, as an 18-year-old to 38, you can be a staunch Democrat, believing in certain values and certain things. But once you reach this other aspect of your life, your ideas and your personal policies and the things you think should be done are totally different. Now imagine a nation filled with people that can change what you think is right, what your beliefs are. That's bonkers. So what happens is you're absorbing what you think is right, but it's not actually what is right for you. So at the end of it all, what happens is you look back on yourself and you question what you thought was right all along, and you wonder, wow, where did I go wrong? So ideologies, as well as people's problems, they go hand in hand as far as what you need to be careful for, as far as what you're absorbing and what you're retaining. The best thing you can do as an individual to abstain or be more cautious and aware about your mental, physical well-being, your health, the best thing you can do is use discernment. Now, I'm not trying to spiritualize this idea, this thing that you can do. I'm trying to actually make it practical. For me as a Christian, there are things that I've been discerning whether or not they are righteous things, and if they are not righteous things. For example, I use the Word of God, and whenever something comes along my way, I take a moment, take a step back, and I pontificate whether the person's emotions are righteous, if they're valid, if they're not being hysterical, if the idea that has been presented to me is a proper idea that I can have, that can be beneficial for me. I put it up against the Word of God to see whether the Word of God is in tandem with that. That's what I believe. That's what I do. I'm a Christian. However, you could do it differently. You can just you can't base it off of bias. You have to base it whether or not it's truth. And armpit stain. Truth is try to be objective when it comes to truth, because truth is not necessarily what you want to hear. And that's the best way if you don't have a specific belief system, that you can take care of yourself if you're a sponge. So, I didn't make any SpongeBob jokes. I didn't want to be that guy. So, my name's Gazy, host of the Outlet Podcast. Comment below, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.